Hey everybody, this week on the Foreign Forks YouTube channel, I'm going to be showing you a recipe that I make in a lot of my foreign fork cooking classes. So when I was in Italy, there was a really popular dish that I ate in Rome a lot called cacio e pepe. So we're going to be making cacio e pepe today, but with a little bit of a twist because we're going to be adding pancetta to it too, which is my favorite. So if you keep watching, I'm going to show you one of my very, very favorite recipes that I learned while living abroad. So to start off, I took one big hunk of pancetta. It was about 400 grams, so like 0.8 pounds or so. And I cut them into little tiny pieces. And I'm gonna put this in a really big pan on my stove. And I'm just gonna let these cook until they start to crisp up. Now, normal cacio e pepe, I will tell you, does not have pancetta in it, but I'm doing kind of a combination meal here. So one of my other favorite dishes in Rome was carbonara, and that had pancetta, or normally guanciale, which is like pork cheek. It had pork cheek in the recipe, and that was my favorite part of the recipe because I loved how crispy the pork cheek was. It was kind of just like the crispiest bacon you've ever had. So when I was going to make my cacio e pepe, which is normally cheese, which is cacio, and pepe, which is pepper, I wanted to add that extra little ingredient in there too. So as you can see, our pancetta is getting to the point where it is pretty crispy, which means that now I'm gonna start cooking my pasta. So I've already boiled my pasta water, and I'm actually gonna turn this off of the heat just for a little bit to let it rest. I have homemade pasta that I made, so I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna put it in this big pot of water. Now I made this pasta this morning around 9 o'clock, so it's not quite dry all the way. It's still a little bit wet, which is okay. When you make homemade pasta, it cooks a lot faster than the store-bought pasta. So this will probably only have to be in this pot maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. It's gonna be pretty quick. Before you're done with your pasta, you're obviously gonna strain it, but before you strain it out of the water, make sure to use a ladle and reserve maybe, like, just to be safe, a cup of pasta water. You probably won't use all of it, but. Okay, so I cooked my pasta to al dente, which means it's still a little bit hard. Just a little bit, not really, but al dente means to the tooth, which means that when you bite into it, it still has like a little bit of resistance when it hits your tooth. So that's how I cooked the pasta too. And I just added it right into my pan with my pancetta. Now I also have 300 grams of grated pecorino romano. And this is, I use the smallest setting on my grater, so it literally looks like powder snow. That's how you want it. So I'm gonna add this 300 grams of cheese. It's a lot of cheese. Into our pan, and I'm gonna kind of just mix this up a little bit. I use tongs when I'm making my pasta sauce. This recipe I learned from a woman in Rome that I became friends with while I was living there. I went and took a couple cooking classes at her house. She invited us over for Easter a couple of times. She taught me how to make cacio e pepe. Okay, so now that my cheese is mixed in here a little bit, I'm gonna take my reserved pasta water. The starches in this pasta water is what's gonna make our sauce creamy and a little bit thicker. So I'm just gonna add spoonfuls of it in, little ladles, and it's gonna combine with the cheese and make a really creamy sauce for our pasta. And then I'm gonna mix it up again. And I'm gonna do that until our pasta gets to be cheesy and delicious, and all of that cheese melts into a sauce. You hear that nice slurp of the noodles? Yum. This recipe, like I've been saying, is called cacio e pepe. So cacio means cheese, which we've already added into the recipe, and now we need the pepe part, which is pepper. So always, always, always use fresh ground black pepper for when you're making cacio e pepe, because if you use the pre-bought, like pre-ground black pepper that you get in the containers from the grocery store, it tends to lose a lot of its flavor after even a week. So if you can get fresh grated ones, then that's perfect. So I have this one with 3 settings of the sizes of the peppercorns. I put it to the highest setting because I want it to be like kind of chunks of pepper, because that's a main ingredient in the recipe. So I'm just gonna keep cranking this until my arm gets tired. I'm just gonna put a lot of pepper in here. Okay, I have a big steaming bowl of wonderful cacio e pepe that I get to try now. Got a piece in there, there we go. That's so cheesy. This recipe makes me so nostalgic for my time in Rome. Cacio e pepe is a dish that's specific to Rome, and so it's so near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite recipes to make. It's one of my favorite recipes to teach, so I'm really happy that you guys got to watch this video and learn how to make it with me. The full recipe is gonna be on www.forandfork.com if you wanna learn how to make it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and don't forget to check out my video too about how to make the homemade pasta that was in this dish. Thanks, and I will see you guys soon.